Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I am your host, recently voted Best Little YouTube Star of 2022 by Dr. Suckit's Mom Magazine, Dr. Yukon Suckit. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Yukon Suckit. Tell that to your mom. So I am broadcasting to you once again from my secret underground headquarters, and I am bringing to you a deck that I found over on the Aether Hub. It is entitled Rakdos Superfriends, and it is put out by Dargu03. Dargu03. I'm hoping that's how you pronounce his name. But anyways, Rakdos Superfriends. And it looks good. I mean, I see all the cards in here, and I think Burn Down the House, love it. Invoke Despair, love it. Sheoldred, love it. Ob Nixilis, love it. Graveyard Trespasser, love. You know, Jaya is new to me, but there's just so much greatness inside this deck that it's just like, yep, I gotta play it. So let's take a look at the cards that are in here. We'll try to figure out if there's any sort of synergy or anything that works well together. And then we'll take it out and see how well it does. At the low end, we've got Cut Down. I love the art on this, and I got to say that right off the bat when Dominaria came out, I was super disappointed in this card. I just kind of felt like it was going to be super awesome. But it turns out that creatures grow outside of that total power and toughness window of 5 pretty quick. So it's not as effective as you think it would be, but still having a couple in there is not so bad. Plus, with Liliana around, you're going to want some cards to potentially just discard. That's horrible to say. That's my problem with her. We'll get back to it. After that, we got Infernal Grasp, which I like to call the Neck Snapper. For 2 mana, you can destroy any target creature. You lose 2 life. It's very targeted. It's just creatures. No planeswalkers. No damage to opponents. Just creatures. But still, they did. Tenacious Underdog. I will refer to it henceforth as Tenacious D. And it's a 3/2 for 2, which is amazingly cheap. And there's no downsides to that cost for that creature. In fact, usually for that on a black, it would be a 2/1 for 2. Now, this thing does have Blitz, where it's 4 and pay 2 life. But that just allows you to play it from your graveyard for the Blitz ability. So I gotta tell you, just getting out a 3/2 for 2 is an amazing cost in black. We've got Bloodtithe Harvester, which is a vampire. And it is also a 3/2 for 2, amazingly well costed. And when it enters, you get a blood token. I mean, that is just so good. You can sacrifice this card to target creature gets -X to -X till the end of turn, where X is twice the number of blood tokens that you control. So the more blood tokens you can pop out, the bigger the bomb this guy can be. But right off the bat, he can kill somebody who has a toughness of 2. Let's see, we got the Graveyard Trespasser. So you get a 3/3 for 3, and it has Ward, but the Ward is kind of cheap because all they have to do is discard a card. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, you exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature card that was exiled this way, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Now, when you go to nighttime, it becomes a werewolf at a 4/4, same ward cost, but then whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, you exile 2 target cards from graveyards. And the same effect, where for each creature card that was exiled, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain life. So there's a little bit going on there. This card is generally very solid. It doesn't seem like it's a whole lot. The ward does end up helping you out. It is kind of a powerful creature at 3 toughness and 3 power, 3 toughness. And ripping through somebody's graveyard, even taking out something that is a non-creature but can be replayed from the graveyard as like an enchantment or something. That is fantastic. Really, the ability to manipulate people's graveyards is one of the best things about this particular card. Liliana of the Veil costs you 3 to put out, and she's a 3 loyalty counters right off the bat. And as soon as that happens, you can pay -2 to force target player to sacrifice a creature. That's where you usually see her. That's what she does. After that, to make her grow, you got a +1, which each player discards a card, including yourself. And that'd be so cool if it was just your opponent, but nope, you got to feel the pain as well. -6, separate all permanents target player control into 2 piles. That player sacrifices all permanents in the pile of their choice. I had that done to me once. It was devastating. Devastating. Let's see. Fable of the Mirror Breaker on the first turn puts out a 2/2 mana shaman, so that whenever it attacks, you create a treasure token. On the second turn, you may discard up to 2 cards. If you do, you can draw that many cards. And on the third turn, it turns into a 2/2 shaman Kiki-Jiki, where you pay 1 to tap it, and you can create a token that's a copy of another non-legendary creature that you control, except it has haste, and you have to sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. I don't really know what's in this deck that Kiki-Jiki is going to be good at making copies of, because I don't really see anything in here other than the Bloodtithe Harvester or the Tenacious Underdog. I mean, the Bloodtithe Harvester will at least get you a blood token, but there you go. I think it might be in here mostly as like a ramp, where the Mana Shaman might be your best opportunity. And even if you get to Kiki-Jiki, you can always copy the Mana Shaman, so that way you'd be creating 2 treasure tokens per turn. Because you need to get up into the Invoke Despair, Burn Down the House mana category, but we'll talk about that when we get up there. Also in the 3 category, we got Ob Nixilis. Also, this is the second of our Planeswalkers. That's where the Super Friends comes from. It comes from having a bunch of Planeswalkers. I'm not sure what the qualification is for that. Usually it's, I think, at least 3. In this case, we have 4. You know, you got to have a bunch of them. So Ob Nixilis, when he comes out, you can choose to do the casualty option. That's where you pick a creature that you control and you sacrifice it, at which point then it creates a copy of Ob Nixilis, and it has a starting loyalty which is equal to the power of the creature that you sacrificed. At which point you have 2 of them. And so usually when you make the main one, create a 1/1 red devil token that when it dies, it deals 1 damage to your target. And then you make the other one do the +1, which is each opponent loses 2 life unless they discard a card. If you control a devil, you gain 2 life. So it gets you 2 life out of the deal. If you feel like you got enough life, you just double up on the making them discard or pay 2 life deal. And don't worry about gaining life. Let's see, at the end, you've got target player draws 7 cards and loses 7 life. I think I killed somebody with that one time. It was a long time ago. Usually you don't get around to -7. Let's see. So we got Sheoldred the Apocalypse. Man, I love Sheoldred. Unfortunately, she's not a Planeswalker, so she does not count towards being a super friend. If anything, she would just be like the Wendy and Marvin from the 1970s Super Friends, where they just dress up in the clothes and travel around with Batman and Robin, who I guess are also unpowered people. Yeah, sorry, Batman. You're pretty much just like Wendy and Marvin. And that also makes you as cool as Sheoldred, though. Sheoldred the Apocalypse. Yeah, I gotta tell you, if Sheoldred was a superhero, she would be Batman. For 4, you get a 4/5 with Death Touch, and which is great. But whenever you draw a card, you gain 2. Whenever your opponent draws a card, they lose 2. So suck it, card draw people. Sorin the Mirthless will draw you a card, which will also help you gain life if you got Sheoldred out as well. Otherwise, you could pop out a Vampire Bebe who has flying and lifelink. Lastly, if you get Sorin up to his super level, let's see, he deals 13 damage to any target and you gain 13 life. I don't think I've ever seen that happen. But, you know, it didn't necessarily win the game. You'd hope it would. At dealing 13 damage to somebody, by the time you can play this, you're playing 4 mana, and then you have to get him up to 7, and then you could do 13 points of damage. It'd be cool. All right, Jaya, the Fiery Negotiator. She costs 4, and it's a 4 for loyalty. She's got 4 abilities, so let's look at them. Number 1, you're putting out these 1/1 red monks that have prowess. I had to take a look at what prowess means. Prowess says that whenever you play a non-creature spell, they get +1/+1 till the end of the turn. For -1, you exile the top 2 cards of your library. You choose one of them. You may play that card this turn. So I guess if you're kind of desperate to do something, you -1 on that. Take a look at the top of your library and hopefully be able to do something with it. -2 when target creature and opponent controls, or you choose something like that. And then whenever you attack, Jaya deals damage equal to the number of attacking creatures to that creature. So if you had 5 creatures and you're going up against a Sheoldred, you could pick it, then Jaya would just shoot it for 5 as soon as the attack started. -8. If you get her up that level, when you get an emblem, whenever you cast a red instant or sorcery, I don't even think we have any in here. Oh, burn down the house, and the one I added. Copy it twice. You may choose new targets for the copies. I don't think I'd worry about that one. I think Jaya's big deal here, I'm not even sure what the big deal is with her. Yeah, we'll see if she's any good in this deck. I mean, she's red and she's a super friend. That's what really seems to matter here. All right, we've got Invoke Despair. We got 2 of them. You need 4 black mana. That's the hard part about this. You're not playing mono black. Invoke Despair is sometimes hard to actually get going. So 4 black mana and a gray. Target opponent sacrifices a creature, enchantment, and planeswalker. For each of those that they cannot sacrifice because they do not have it, then the opponent loses 2 life and you draw a card. And so that is glorious. I've seen other decks where you copy, all you do is you just copy this card, dig it back from the graveyard, play it again. It's just Invoke Despair, Invoke Despair, Invoke Despair. A whole deck made of just that. Burn down the house. God, look at the art on this. It is so fantastic. For 5, you can deal 5 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. Hopefully that will clear the board for you if you have a problem. You got to watch the timer because some guys grow over 5 quickly, and you need to be able to take those guys out. Otherwise, you can attack, get them some damage done, keep it so their toughness is below 5 or at least at 5, and then burn down the house. If that's not going to work out for you, the 3 Devils is still a great deal because they have haste, which means they can attack as soon as they come out. And whenever this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to a target. There's a lot of things you could take down that way as well. Burn down the house is a glorious card. 5 is a good casting cost for it. Without the Meathook Massacre, this is my number 2 choice. All right, so as far as lands are concerned, we've got, looks like 1 Kamigawa Black, which mills 3 and then returns a creature or planeswalker from your graveyard to your hand. In this deck, there's a lot of planeswalkers and Sheoldred. So I would love to bring those back to my hand, be able to play again if they get killed. We got the Kamigawa Red, which will put out 2/1/1 Hasty Spirit tokens. We got Xander's Lounge, which looks like Grixis colors there. And you can also cycle it in case you don't really care to have more lands. Lastly, we got, I shouldn't say lastly, but we got the semi-fast dual lands, and we got an equal amount of red and black basic lands. So that's it. It looks like what we're doing is a bunch of control, messing around with people's graveyards, getting out some threats, and then controlling the board with our planeswalkers and taking them out with whatever damage we can deal. So yeah, this is mostly like a super, like if it wasn't Super Friends, this would be Rakdos control. That's the way I see it. I mean, I guess it might also be mid-range just because of the ramp. All right, that's it. Let's take it out and see how well it does. All right, so we're playing against GyraBoy. Or is it Gyra? I don't know. Let's keep it. 3 gets us into either of those 2. Boy, the 4 black is a hard sell. What do we got here? We'll take a better look at it here in a second. Looks like a bear on the side of a tree. All right, Tenacious D. Like to build my way to these cards. That's my problem with her, is I dislike the fact that you have to discard yourself to be able to pump her up. And I don't have a lot of garbage. I like the cards I have way too much. Looks like that's what we're going for. I could always put out the Fable. Whatever. Let's kill that little jerk. All right, we've got our mana boy out. We'll let him live. We could potentially create some black mana for ourselves. I may not let him live, though. I need to kind of burn down the house. It'd be nice to get one more just for that sake. That's a good idea. All right, jump. Well, I can't let that guy grow too much. Let's see. I'm guessing it's going to take too much to get up to this. Let's just submit it. Are they going to block? Yes, they are. And the board is wiped. Alright, so Jaya's going to start creating a bunch of monks. That's cool. Liliana can kill something if she puts it out. Looks like he's digging. If I put out Jaya, Jaya's probably going to die. Jaya's going to die. Alright, let's just keep this going. We'll thin the herd. I can't believe we're thinning out these little jerks, though. But we got so many Lilianas coming into our hand, it's sort of worth doing. Excellent. Choose up to one. That one. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and force a discard. I'll cut down. That'll be fine. You got to do it. You got to get rid of it. It's the law. Every card in your hand can't be that precious. Would you have to consult your lawyer? I'm touching your mushrooms. There you go. That much interest to get rid of that one guy. What do you have, like 4 lands in your hand right now? I guess you only have 2 mana. That's just nasty. That's what you're looking for is mana. And we win! Victory! Our pen against Hvírin, I guess. 1, 2, 3, keep. It seems we get every turn. We get a dual and a couple, a black and a red. Ooh, I get a touch of precious. Precious, precious, precious. There it is. Touched it. I touched it. Tenacious D. Alright, mono green potentially? I like it with how we always try to guess what it is based off of one card. I'm betting he's probably going to get a red out here. We're probably... Oh, we got Selesnya, at least so far. I touched the precious. Wonk. All attack. So we should probably go make some trouble. Hubba, dubba, trubba. But look. See, I don't really want to kill those, the problem. Let's go kill something first. Let's just do that. All attack. So I'm fairly certain burn down the house is going to pretty much burn down the house. Question is I totally want to sacrifice all my guys for that situation. He doesn't want to give out the naturalist, though. I can tell that. All right, we're good now. Ob Nixilis. It's casually up on the Tenacious D. That's going to make for one powerful Ob Nixilis, though. All right, they're both 3s, so let's go ahead and devil up. And then we'll go for the ability. That's mine. Smith 0, we're cool. Alright, I should be able to just bum rush in on the next turn and kill him, is what I'm thinking. So we got 3, 4, plus 3 more. I guess that's only 7. We can cause some damage with Ob Nixilis ahead of time, maybe? Yeah, that's what he wants. Okay, so the more they're thin, these just be, but he's got nothing. No, we're cool. We'll let it go. That sucks. And we got 2 blockers out now. Oh, good, he didn't do that. All right, so let's start off with this one. We'll make him discard. And he'll probably pick for the damage. They out. So we're going to go ahead and we'll pick burn down the house with the 3 devils. And all attack. If I get rid of my own guy, that's an extra point of damage. There we go. And we win! Victory is power! And we're playing against SlingerAap. SlingerAap. 1, 2, 3. Let's keep it. Alright, so our plan is Tenacious D unless we need to kill something. And there we go. Tenacious D. Wow, we're going up against Rakdos again. Don't be looking at my guy. Just keep yourself to yourself. All right, we will 3-up and nothing. I'm not going to put out Liliana at this point. I could force a discard, but what's the point in that? Is that going to be awesome? I guess we could. We can start climbing. You get up to the 6, it's devastating. I had that played on me once. I didn't realize that land counted in the permanents that are that would go on there. Problem is, now we just got to keep her alive somehow. Well, guess we didn't have a choice. This guy's going full on control. Let's graveyard it. Reward is just a discard. He's got plenty of cards to discard. All right. Let's mana up. I'm a big fan of manaing. We're going to go ahead and kill the mana boy. And we're going to slam in for 3. And there she goes. Okay, we'll put out a Jaya. And we're going to put out a Monk. We'll put out Power Fist. Okay, what's interesting is that I can kill the Kikijiki. I can just do that too. Let's just do it the cool way though. I'm gonna play for the Blitz. We're gonna go ahead and choose a target creature. This one. And all attack. 2 points. Next. Alright, that was actually kind of fun. Thanks, Jaya. We put another Power Fist out. Except for she's to be dead. Alright, I'm going to go for black, and we're going to Tenacious D. All attack. This is going to get us a card to draw. What do we got there? Jaya again. Excellent. All right, what I got there? 3, 6, 7, 8. All right, let's Jaya it. Tenacious D. I don't like the way the little guy's looking at me. I should have probably put Jaya out and pumped her up with that dude. Now I lost my priority and he's holding it. All attack. Yeah, Tenacious D is like an expensive man land. Power Fist! And by expensive, I mean painful. He's like a pain land, man land. That's what that guy's been waiting for. He's gonna hate this. That's exactly what he hates right there. He cast something, which is probably what he's gonna try to do. He's got 3 mana. Unfortunately, Arcane Bombardment's going away. Oh, good for you. All right, we're going to put out another guy. And I'll attack. All right, you gonna kill GyraBoy? Is that the deal? All right, so he's got 5 life left. 2 cards in hand, lots of mana. Seems like I'm holding it together better than he is. I can go for a double. I go for Ob Nixilis at this point. But if I go with Burn Down the House, I probably have a better chance of just winning this thing. And there we go. As the ancients would say, victory! All right, we're playing against red. 1, 1, 7. We got 2 mana. And I'm going to mulligan. I'm not quite down with that. 3's the way to go. We'll keep it. We're going to put Burn Down the House away for now. And start us out. Nope. We're not listening to some goblin freak out the entire game. Got better things to do with my life. All right, Blood Harvester. Selesnya again, huh? All right, let's Tenacious D. And rock in for 3. Kind of like the cards in my hand, so I'm not gonna do anything with that. There's a guy. Okay, we're built our way up to 4. I'm gonna go for another Tenacious D. That guy doesn't have anything in his graveyard. And all in. Okay, we just got to hold out for something a little bit better than 1-1. Like, this guy's the kind of guy we can just sort of kill. Let's kill it. And we win. Oppressive victory. We're playing against SlamPaPa. Except it's not SlamPaPa, it's SlamPaPa. 1, 2, 3. I like that. Yes, this is all very good. All right, let's get that dragon to go to sleep because they are also grating and irritating. Mono red. All right, so whatever I put out is just going to die. So let's not put something out. All right, the next guy that's got to be killed. Let's go ahead and Liliana it. She's not going to live long, but she will serve her purpose. And here it goes. Now I can start putting guys out and don't worry about them getting killed as much. All right, so I will kill that. And put out a Bloodtithe. I'm down to 11, which is horrible, but at least it's on my own terms. There we go. He's only got one card left. And that's it. It's a Phoenix chick. Okay, so this will allow me to go through his graveyard and get some life back, about as much as the Phoenix chick loses him. Alright, so my plan going forward is put out the Fable and then Ob Nixilis on top of the Mana Shaman. Alright, so let's take these two. Gotta take two this turn. 1 and 2. Nixed in for damage. Mana Shaman. I can just play Ob Nixilis at this point. Casualty. Not pretend we win. Double Ob Nixilis is too scary. Victory. All right, what a glorious, glorious, horrible deck Rakdos Superfriends is. Yeah, that was really good. So, let's see. I took out the Meathook Massacre. This was an older deck from before the last ban. Put in the Burn Down the House. I think Burn Down the House worked very well. Getting to the mana was not a problem. There is 25 lands in here. That's probably what the deal was. I did have to rely upon the Mana Shaman on the Fable a couple times to get me that extra mana that I needed, but, you know, that's what it's in there for, and it did a good job. So let's see. What was the hero of the deck? What was the hero? I'm guessing, like, Ob Nixilis is really what made people pee their pants the most. So maybe that was... Tenacious D was the one that I kind of felt I had the best utility for. Mostly because, I mean, I could keep playing like a man land out of the graveyard. So he was pretty darn good when it came to his utility. Burn Down the House was excellent. It did what it was supposed to do. What I love about it is the fact that it does up to 5 points of damage as a board wipe. Or you got those 3 devil tokens. And those devil tokens are so good. Jaya was interesting. I liked her -2 ability, where you deal damage equal to an opponent's creature equal to the number of attacking creatures. That was pretty swell. I think that the Prowess Monks were pretty cool, mostly because I like their little animations with their little arms sticking up. That was pretty awesome. Liliana is always disappointing to me, but if you think about her as really just being force somebody to sacrifice a creature for 3, that's not bad. I mean, there's that exile black card that costs exactly the same thing, which is exile target player or creature or planeswalker for 3. That's way better. But on the other hand, she has potential to grow afterwards, provided she doesn't get killed. All right, but yeah, all the cards in here are really good. And playing this together was smooth and creamy, exactly like you'd hope it would be. So let's give this thing a rating. Number 1, is this deck competitive? I thought it was incredibly good. I thought it was really good. We took down a mono red deck like it was nothing. And so that's one of those things that I hold up as being competitive. So I'm going to say, yeah, I think this thing is competitive. Number 2, was it fun? I did have a lot of fun with it. Like I said, it was creamy smooth. It was easy to play. It's like the cards were wanting to inflict damage. It was pretty excellent. And lastly, was it interesting? So one of the big problems with this deck is that every card in here is something that we played with a ton. Probably the only thing that we haven't played with a bunch is Jaya itself. But Sheoldred's been a number 1 superstar since Dominaria came back out. You know, same with Liliana. Jaya hasn't been getting the same amount of play. But it was nice to have Jaya. It did make the deck more interesting. I guess that's about it. So I'm not going to give it high marks on being interesting. It's just the deck doing what red and black love to do most. So let's see. Tons of fun. A really competitive deck. Not terribly interesting, but still the fun factor makes up for it a lot. So I've got to give this deck a solid A. Definitely worth keeping around and worth playing. Let's see. I did take out 4 of the pain lands because, of course, Dr. Suckett says that pain lands suck. I would end up cutting my own throat with that more than anything. You might want to put them back in. That's just not my bag, baby. So anyways, there's your A deck. I hope that if you choose to play with this deck that you have as much fun with it as I did. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the secret underground headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. In the words of my people, screw you guys, I'm going home. Bye.